Welcome back to Human Wreckage, the podcast where we explore the darkest, most haunting true crime cases stories of lives torn apart, mysteries that refuse to fade, and the human toll behind every tragedy. Today, we delve deep into the investigation of one of Montana's most perplexing cold cases, the disappearance of 4-year-old Nyleen Kay Marshall. It was June 25th, 1983, a summer day filled with laughter and family, when Nyleen vanished near Warm Springs Creek in the rugged landscape of the Elkhorn Mountains. Since then, decades of searches, cryptic letters, anonymous phone calls, and unconfirmed sightings have marked this case, but no resolution. This episode will take you through every twist and turn of the investigation, revealing the tireless efforts of law enforcement, the challenges they faced, and the lingering questions that remain. Picture this. A warm Montana afternoon, June 25th, 1983. The sun filters through the tall pines surrounding Warm Springs Creek. Families gathered, children running free near the water's edge. Nyleen Kay Marshall, a lively 4-year-old with bright blue eyes and a small mole just above her left eyebrow, was playing near the creek, splashing by the beaver dams. Suddenly, in the blink of an eye, she was gone. When her family looked back, Nyleen was nowhere to be found. The panic that followed was immediate. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office was called, and a search began without delay. Ground teams scoured the dense forest, wading through brush, creek beds, and rugged terrain. Local volunteers, deputies, and family members joined forces, driven by fear and hope. Tracking dogs were brought in to pick up any trace of Nyleen's scent, but the chaos of the picnic and the natural environment hampered their efforts. Helicopters joined the search, scanning from above, but the thick canopy obscured much of the ground. Despite the urgency, as hours stretched into days, no clues emerged. No clothing, no belongings, no sign of the little girl. Then there was the man. Eyewitnesses at the picnic reported seeing a man in a jogging suit speaking to Nyleen just moments before she vanished. He was described as Caucasian, perhaps in his 30s or 40s, wearing a simple jogging suit. But what chills the spine is what witnesses say he told Nyleen: "Follow the shadow." That strange phrase, "follow the shadow," became a haunting echo. Investigators quickly zeroed in on this man, the last person seen with Nyleen. Yet, despite canvassing the community, checking records, and spreading his description far and wide, no one could identify him. He simply vanished like a ghost. With no immediate leads, the case grew increasingly complex. Montana State Police stepped in to support local authorities. Soon after, the FBI became involved. This was no longer just a local matter. There was a real fear that Nyleen might have been taken across state lines, possibly even out of the country. The FBI brought in their profiling experts, combed through national databases, and coordinated with multiple agencies. Yet the man in the jogging suit remained a mystery, a shadow in the investigation itself. Then, 2 years later, something unexpected: letters. Between 1985 and 1986, several typed letters arrived at organizations like the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children and Child Find of America. Written by an anonymous man, the letters claimed he had abducted Nyleen and was raising her as his own daughter. He called her Kay, describing intimate details about her personality and appearance. He wrote about traveling extensively across the United States, Canada, and even the United Kingdom, supposedly homeschooling her and protecting her. But there was a darker side. The man alluded to sexual abuse. These letters were chilling, adding a disturbing new layer to the investigation. The letter to Nyleen's parents read in part: "I picked Kay up on the road in the Elkhorn Park area between Helena and Boulder. She was crying and frightened, and as I held her, she was shaking, and I decided that I would keep her and love her. I took her home with me. I have a nice investment income, and I can work at home, so I care for her myself all the time. I teach her at home, and she likes to go with me when I travel. She would gladly recount to you trips to San Francisco, New York, Oklahoma City, New Orleans, Nashville, Chicago, Puerto Rico, and Canada. We were even in Britain for a month last year, and she loved it. Nobody questions passports. Her hair is short and curly now, and she has really grown. She is about 45 inches and around 50 pounds. She has all 4 of her permanent upper and 2 of her lower incisors at this time. She takes a bath and brushes her teeth every day. I give her medicine from the bathroom every morning. It is actually a spoonful of my semen. It doesn't affect her physically. I have never molested her in any other way. She is a sweet little girl, and it is because of how much I have grown to love her that I realize how much her family must miss her. But she has adjusted and seems happy. She trusts me and isn't afraid. We play sick a lot, and she laughs when we clown around. She smiles and acts coy when I tease her. She giggles when we snuggle and hugs me, sometimes for no apparent reason. I love her and I have her. I just can't let her go. Accompanying the letters were several phone calls traced to Edgerton, Wisconsin. Investigators listened carefully to these calls, trying to glean any identifying information. But the man spoke in a disguised voice, refusing to reveal his identity. Despite surveillance and efforts to locate him, he slipped away again, another ghost. Why has this case been so difficult to solve? For one, the environment itself posed huge obstacles. The rugged Montana wilderness, dense forests, waterways, and changing weather all conspired to erase clues. Then, there was the time delay. The first hours after a child goes missing are critical. Even a short delay in reporting can be devastating to any search effort. In Nyleen's case, although search efforts began quickly, the difficult terrain and multiple people in the area made tracking her scent or movements extremely difficult. Another hurdle was technology. In 1983, forensic DNA analysis was barely in its infancy, far from the powerful tool it would become. Without physical evidence of body, clothing, or personal belongings, investigators had very little to analyze scientifically. Letters were examined for handwriting, typing, and linguistic clues, but no conclusive evidence came from those efforts. The 1990s brought renewed hope with reported sightings. In 1997, a nurse in New Orleans reported encountering a young woman named Helena, who claimed to have a mysterious past and a connection to Nyleen. The woman was accompanied by an older man and left abruptly when questioned further. The lead fizzled, but investigators never ruled out the possibility. Other tips trickled in over the years, possible sightings in other states, claims of people who knew or saw Kay. None were confirmed. Today, advances in technology offer new tools. Age-progressed images of Nyleen have been created, depicting what she might look like now 19 years after her disappearance and into adulthood. These images have been circulated widely, with hopes someone might recognize her. Modern forensic genealogy has revolutionized cold cases, cracking decades-old mysteries. Law enforcement remains prepared to use these methods if new DNA evidence ever emerges. Sheriff Craig Doolittle of Jefferson County has publicly stated the case remains open, and any new tip, no matter how small, could break it wide open. We keep the case alive because every day that passes without answers is another day of suffering for the family. We encourage anyone with information to come forward. Public awareness remains vital. Shows like Unsolved Mysteries and social media campaigns help keep Nyleen's story alive. Behind every detail, every lead, every cold case statistic, there are real people, families shattered by uncertainty. Nyleen's family continues to live with the void her disappearance left, never giving up hope for answers. The community of Warm Springs Creek, Montana, remembers that summer day as one marked by loss. To this day, nobody still knows what truly happened to Nyleen. Did she get lost, or was she abducted? All evidence points towards the latter. The unidentified jogger spotted talking to Nyleen moments before she vanished was never identified, and neither was the anonymous letter writer and caller. Many speculate that these two are the same person. Tragically, Nancy Marshall was raped and murdered while in Mexico in 1995. She went to the grave not knowing the fate of her daughter. The investigation into the disappearance of Nyleen Kay Marshall is a testament to the challenges law enforcement faces in missing children cases, especially in the pre-digital age. It's a story of urgency and frustration, shadows and silence, but also hope and relentless determination. If you have any information about Nyleen or recognize the man in the jogging suit, please reach out to the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office or the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, because every clue, every whisper could be the key to finally bringing this case out of the shadows. Thank you for joining us on Human Wreckage. Please subscribe and share this episode. Together, we can keep the stories alive and maybe, just maybe, help find answers where there were none before. Stay safe, stay vigilant, and remember, every missing person has a name. Every story deserves to be told. Until next time.